Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the start of our mindset modules. Now, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about pretty much the most important aspect of winning and losing is your mindset. There's a difference between a winner's mindset and a loser's mindset. And like I said in the earlier modules, for me, it's analyzing what has helped our winners to succeed in the program and what has led other people to lose and not get the results. It's by analyzing the differences between that I've been able to create V2. V2 comes out of that place exactly. Breaking down the winner's decisions, the winner's habits versus the loser's decisions, the loser's habits. And so we're starting off with a bang here, guys. Is breaking down pretty much exactly what you need to do to have that winning mindset, to all but guarantee your success in this program across the next 12 months. And the loser's mindset, what to avoid. Because remember again, guys, it's as much about what you do as the things that you avoid doing. So this is going to be a pretty juicy module. I can guarantee I've had a lot of people talk to me about this module when we first created this a little while back. And a lot of people tell me at the end, like, I totally understand why I didn't succeed in other programs before. Now I know. Now I know what to look for, right? I totally understand why I lost. Just the way I understand why I lost at dropshipping, right? This will change the way that you look at yourself, your life, your mindset. So let me dive straight in and we'll break this down. So here we are, the winners versus losers mindset. The first lesson here, speed plus intensity equals success. I want to give you guys an analogy. Okay? I want you to imagine we're in a kitchen. Okay, it's two different chefs in the kitchen. Both of the chefs have the same stovetop, the same pan, the same oil, the same egg. Okay, the only thing they get to decide is one thing. Okay, the heat. They just get to decide, how fast am I going to cook this egg? How hot am I going to make this pan? Right? What intensity am I going to approach cooking this egg with? Now, these two different types of chefs, they've got two different approaches here. Type A, he just goes in there, he's cooking that egg on 10. Cranks up the stove to max. He's like, well, if it goes to 10, I'm going to put it to 10. I want this motherfucker to cook quick, right? I'm going to put this egg on 10, operate with intensity. We're going to get this egg cooked in 2 minutes. That's number one. The second chef, they're like, I don't want it to get burned around the edges. I don't want the crispy bits. The crispy bits are great, by the way, but I don't want the crispy bits. I'm scared that the egg's going to get burnt. Let me just cook it on low and slow. 2. Okay? So if we look at this on a spectrum, alright? Chef A, chef number one, he's all the way here, right? He's all the way here, right? He's like, let's just, if we can do it on max, let's just do it on max, all right? Chef B, they're over here. Now let me ask you something. Who do you think is going to finish cooking their egg first? Chef A or B? Right? Chef 1 or 2. It's obviously Chef A. They're in and out of the kitchen, they're sitting down, they're eating their egg already. Chef B is over here wondering, like, well, how come they're already finished? They're already eating the egg, they're enjoying the egg. What's going wrong? Is it my pan? Did you give me the wrong pan? Is it the oil? Did you give me the wrong oil? What about my stovetop? You probably gave me a different stovetop. And Chef B, the novice, will blame all of the equipment, all the strategies, everything else around them except them. You know where I'm going with this, right? Chef B will be like, there's got to be a difference. There's got to be a difference. That's the only reason he beat me, right? Because he's got a better equipment. No. Chef A approached that task as, how can I do this on max as fast as possible? Yes, I know the egg's probably going to get a little bit burnt around the edges. Yeah, I get it, but I'll get better on the next egg. But I'm just going to, if it can go to 10, I'm going to go to 10. Chef B, scared, perfectionist, wants to do it perfect, no burnt edges. And they're wondering, they're still standing in the kitchen wondering, well, how come they succeeded faster than me? They got better results. It's because they approached the task with pure speed and intensity. It's like a plane, right? I can't remember the exact amount. I think you'll have to correct me, right? A plane flies at a speed of, it's either 640,000 kilometers an hour or 840,000 kilometers an hour. Flies at that speed. It's defying gravity, the wind resistance, everything. It has to operate at speed, right? You can design the most perfect aircraft and try and fly at 100 kilometers an hour. You know what's going to happen? It's going to plummet right out of the sky. You have to move with intensity. If you think you're going to succeed just being very ginger with things, let me take a whole week to perfect my niche. Let me take a whole month to make sure my offer is perfect and my offer is pretty, and let me just do that. You will never ever win, right? We'll be here for 24 months and you'll never win. You'll be in the exact same spot. I know this because there are people from the old program who, when it came to certain aspects of the strategies, you guys will get into it, when it came to those kind of aspects, they tried to make everything perfect. They didn't want to launch, they were too scared because it had to be perfect. They're still in the kitchen. They're in the exact same spot they were when they started. Other people joined a month ago already fucking crushing it. Why? Because they chose to move like this and not like this. So before we go any further, who are you going to be? Do you want to be Chef A or B? Are you naturally a perfectionist? If so, you got to let that go right now. Because perfection is subjective. You can work all day building something, some arts and craft project, right? Building a little clay pot. You can work all day on it. You can spend a year on it. And at the end of it, you'll be like, yeah, it's perfect. You will show it to someone else and be like, yeah, it's all right. Perfection is subjective. So there's no point, right? Think about it like this, right? If 0 to 100, okay? If perfection is 100, but perfection doesn't exist, the best you can hope to get it to is 80%. You can go from 0 to 80% rapidly. If your goal is not perfection, but just to get it done, you can go from 0 to 80% very, very fast. Most people stress themselves out on this 20% right here, and it's complete bullshit. It's like that principle, the 80-20 principle, is essentially you can get 80% of the way to a certain thing with 20% of the effort. But to get that last 20% will require 80% effort. You can fly all the way through every strategy here, guys, if your goal is just to get it to 80% of the way. Just the objective completion, not the subjective perfection, if that makes sense. Hopefully that sinks in. Well, we're going to keep on going. If you're wondering, okay, well, Corbin, I do want to operate like Chef A, but I don't know how. I've been Chef B in every program. I've been Chef B all my life. How do I become Chef A? You become Chef A by asking yourself the winner's questions. Now, this particular part of the module, I actually want you guys to watch again. Now we're watching at the start. Once we actually go through all the strategies and you guys are sending DMs, you've got some level of results, because that's the thing you can guarantee is you will get some kind of results, right? You can work with results. We're going to show you how we use numbers to improve the system, to guarantee the results. You will get results, no matter what they look like, right? So I want you to watch this section now, and then this section after you've had some results come in. It could be you send 500 DMs and don't get a single book call. Fine. I want you to analyze this here, okay? These are the winner's questions. If you want to start operating like Chef A, this is what you need to start asking yourself. So I'm going to prime you with these questions now. And like I said, come back to it after you've gotten some results, and then you're going to refine yourself afterwards, okay? Number 1, am I happy with the results I'm getting? Okay? This could even be up until now joining in the program. What have you done so far? What other programs have you taken? What results are you getting right now? You can ask these questions really at any time. But number 1, am I happy with the results I'm getting? Yes or no? Right? If you're in this program, the answer is no. You want more results. You want better results. Okay. If I'm not happy with them, what am I giving? Let me rephrase. Am I happy with the results I'm getting? If not, what am I giving? If I'm only giving, for example, I'm going to write this out for you guys. If I'm only giving 1 hour of work a day and I'm not happy with the results, what does that say? I'm clearly not prioritizing my business enough. I'm not saying your business needs to be above your family or be above your kids or whatever it is. I understand, but be real with me here. Like, if you're only putting in an hour a day, do you seriously think that you are going to get the exceptional results that only a fraction of the people in the world get? No. Right? If it's not at least in your top 3 of priorities, how can you possibly expect to win? I mean, come on. So, if you're only giving an hour a day, okay, we got to make some changes. If you're only sending 50 DMs a day, that's what you're giving, that's your inputs, right? The way you can break it down is simply output, input, okay? So if you say, well, I'm only giving 1 hour a day of work, I'm only doing 50 DMs a day with my appointment setter, okay, well, it's probably not enough, is it? Right? I've had some people say, and again, this is from the old program, I've had some people say, I'm not getting the results I want. Okay, well, let's break this down. How many DMs have you sent? Well, my VA is supposed to do 100, but they've only sent 20 a day. All right. Well, on one hand, you're doing 20% of what you should be doing, so let's not kid ourselves. That's one. Number 2, have you, send me a screenshot of the conversation. Have you been following the script? And they'll send me the screenshot. And I promise you, I promise you, it sounds like simple enough. It's like, cool, I paid all this money to get this program, to get these resources. I'm probably just going to follow the system, right? It sounds that obvious. I've had people send me screenshots multiple times. Different people. And what they say, like what their VA is saying in the DMs is not at all part of the script. But whose fault is that? If the VA got access to the training, right? If you're leading your VA and you've been allowing them to get away with sending the wrong script, whose fault is that really? Not your VA's, right? Maybe if they completely refuse to ignore advice, then get a different VA, right? But it's your fault for hiring the wrong person. Does happen though. Happens to everyone. Cool, well then fix the mistake, get a new VA. Train them really aggressively. Make sure they don't stray from the script. So I've had people tell me this, I'm not happy with the results I'm getting. Okay. What have you been putting in? Well, we've been only putting in 20 DMs a day and we're not following the script that you said to follow. Even though you've done 50,000 of these and I should probably trust your judgment, but I'm going to do it my way because I think I'm going to win. Clearly you're not if you're not getting the results you want. It sounds so obvious, right? But common sense isn't that common. Okay? So the next set of questions to ask yourself here. If I needed to get my desired result as fast as possible, what would I do differently than what I'm doing now? Okay. Continuing on with this example. If, let's say, you're not happy with the results and you really, really want to be doing 10K as fast as possible, what would you need to be doing differently than you are right now? This is your current, right? The current inputs. Okay, well, I probably need to spend more time in the business. But I say in the business, but on the business, right? Probably need to spend more time creating content. Probably need to be looking over my VAs more diligently, making sure they're not screwing anything up, okay? Because that's your job as a leader. I probably need to be sending more DMs. We probably need to start doing at least 100 a day like we're supposed to be doing, okay? Cool. Next question, why am I not doing that now? If I know what I should be doing differently to get the result I want, and I know that my current inputs are not enough, why am I not doing that now? What excuses am I making? Right? Oh, I don't have the time. Can you make the time? Can you wake up an hour early if necessary? Oh, I don't have the finances to get them to do 100 DMs a day, which by the way is standard, but I'm going to show you exactly how we solve that problem in a second. But all these kind of reasons why you're not doing it now, you need to identify, write them down on a piece of paper. All these excuses. Okay, because genuinely, I'll break it down. It's like a 1 to 10 ratio. Of 10 excuses that you make, only one of them is actually a valid constraint. But there's always a solution. There's always a way to solve it. I'm going to show you how we do this, okay? With even the most, non-negotiable excuses. Finance. I don't know the finance. Remember what Tony Robbins said. It's a lack of resourcefulness, not a lack of resources, that leads to failure. So I'm going to show you how we solve even the most non-negotiable of constraints, okay? But, next question. Are successful people making the same excuses as me? The people that are winning, whether they're in the program or out of the program that I see. For example, let's say you're working an average job, you're not making a lot of money, that kind of thing. You're young. Are other young people that also worked an average job who are now successful, did they make the same excuses as me? Well, if they're successful and I'm not, clearly they didn't make the same excuses as me. Let's say you're on the other end of the fence. Let's say, you're a family person, right? You got a spouse, you got kids, you got a lot of people depending on you, and you're making these excuses why you're not pushing yourself to the max. Oh, this and all this and all this and my history, you don't know my background. Yeah, I don't know your background, I don't care. Why? Because there are people that have succeeded that had it worse than you. Ask yourself that question. If they succeeded in a worse situation than you, or the same situation as you, they had kids, they had a family, did they make the same excuses that you're making? Why are they successful and you're not? If you're saying right at the start, the very first question we're asking, I'm not happy with the results I'm getting, okay, well, what excuses are we making? Are successful people making the same excuses as you? I have a wife and kids. For them, that is the reason why they break down barriers. For them, that is the reason they push themselves more. It's not the reason that they can't push themselves more. It's the reason they do. So, I'm being dead serious about that, and you can tell I'm really passionate about it, because I hear this all the time. And people, even in the program in the past, have kind of had like the audacity to say that other people in the program have won because they have better circumstances. Oh, they had, they were dealt better cards. Oh, they're young, that's why they can take risks. Okay, and you've got the hand you've got. Crying about it, complaining about it is not going to improve your hand. You know the only thing that's going to improve your hand? Work. You can complain about your hand all live long day. This is not the place for it. We're here for winners. We're here to operate. We're here to execute. We're not here to cry and complain. Right? So if you have a certain hand in life, you can point fingers at all the other people in the program that win and say, well, they're winning because this, I have it harder. Boo fucking who? So, you're either going to man up, you're going to improve your situation, improve your hand, or you're going to cry about it. Only one of those things is actually going to get you out of the situation you're in. Pointing fingers at other people saying the reason they succeeded is because they had it easier is going to do nothing for your situation. It's not going to make you feel better about your situation. It's not going to give you more hope. It's not going to give you more clarity. You need to start thinking like this, asking yourself hard questions, the winner's questions. I don't care if this makes me sound like a dick. Like I've been saying right from the start, I'm here to make you the best version of yourself. That doesn't come easily. You don't get to achieve results you've never achieved in your life by being the same person you always are. Let me say that again. You don't get to achieve extraordinary results in your life, results you've never even touched, by being the same person here. It's impossible. If you could achieve this, your biggest dreams in life, being the exact same way you are now, you would have done it already. It's impossible. Look at your life. If you are getting these results, it's because you're this person. If you want to get these results, you need to become a bigger, better person. The only way to do that is to challenge yourself. These mindset modules are going to change your life. At the end of all these mindset modules, I can guarantee, even if it sounds like I'm a dick here, just watch all of them. Do the worksheets, actually fill it out, and I can guarantee you'll look back on these modules and be like, yeah, this changed me. I can promise you now. So yes, getting passionate here. But if you can break down that discomfort there for a second, you'll be able to see the truth in what I'm saying, okay? But moving forward, are successful people making the same excuses as me? No. In an ideal world, if I were to 10x my inputs, so let's say we're doing 50 DMs a day. Cool, now we're doing 500 DMs a day. Okay. What would that look like? 500 DMs? Okay. Is that possible? It's not impossible. Maybe it's not step number 2. Maybe this is more like step number 5. But if we're at step number 1, what does step number 2 look like? If we can't 10x our volume, can we 2x our volume? Yeah, we can. We can go from 50 to 100 a day. We can 2x everything. Yeah. Then let's do that. the question, what's stopping me from doing that now? This is where we actually get to identify the constraints, the immovables. So let's say, okay, well, right now, I don't have the finances to pay my VA to do 100 a day, right? So that is constraint number one, finances. We can't just, summon money out of thin air, okay? Your financial constraints right now exist. All the wishing in the world isn't going to change that. That is a constraint, okay? Out of all these constraints that we list, which ones can I actually solve? If I could solve any, which one could I solve? Finances, actually. How? We're going to do this exact thing right now. Let's say the finances is the thing that's holding us back from at least 2xing our inputs. Okay? How are we going to solve that? Remember, like I said, excuses, right, versus actual constraints is a 10-to-1 ratio. Right? When we identify a bottleneck, there are more things we can solve than the things that we can't solve. And you know what's great about that is, let's say right here, right, there's one valid constraint, but we've problem solved 9 out of the 10. One of them we genuinely couldn't solve, but we solved 9 out of the 10. Now we go from being really constrained to now we have flow back in our system. Now we're not constrained anymore, right? Sure, we didn't get all of them. Maybe we had 1 or 2 that we actually couldn't solve, but we could solve 8. We could solve 9. And now if we run this new system with the problem solved, you'll see how much better results you get. Don't look to solve all the problems. It's impossible. But which ones can you solve? Don't focus on what you can't solve. Focus on what you can actually solve. When you can do that, you will win. And so we will actually be doing a whole decision-making matrix based on the financial constraints. I'm going to show you how we solve that problem. But I want to bring you to the awareness of this. We've talked about what winners do, but I want to focus on what people who don't win do. Losers. What do losers do? How do losers make their decisions? If you're aware of this, you'll know to do the opposite, okay? This right here is the perpetual losers decision-making model, okay? Think of it like a Nike tick. Whenever anyone starts on any new system, any strategy, right, they always start off here. Happy, informed optimism. You guys are probably feeling like that as well, right? You're right here. Top of the world, okay? But it's uninformed optimism. You're excited, but you don't know what work you're going to need to put in yet. You don't know the challenges that you might face. And like everything happens like this. It's the law of the universe. It's designed by God. It's designed by the universe to test you in this level first. This right here is a test. Okay? It's designed like this. Because if it was just nothing but up, everyone starts here, and then it's just easy, sweet. If it was like that, everyone would be a 1%. Everyone would have millions and billions. But it's not like that. It's not like that. Why? Because actually here in this test, this is where like 80% of people will drop off. 80% will give up. And praise God for it. More for us. Right? More for the winners. More for you if you make that decision to be a winner. Okay? 80% will drop off in this test. It's a very short period of time. There's much more time for success than there are for the failures, for sure. Most people give up here. Okay? This level is called the Valley of Despair. And it's my favorite place. Why? Because this is where you'll hear people say stuff like this. Okay, I'm gonna write this out. This is where you'll hear people say stuff like this. It doesn't what? It doesn't work. The focus is on it, thing. The stovetop isn't the same stove. The pan isn't the same pan. It doesn't work. It's not fair, right? That's another one. It's not fair. They have it easier. Right? What do all these have in common? You're passing the blame off somewhere else. My favorite one of all time is this one. Now, fortunately, I've actually never had anyone say this to me, but I've been in enough programs to see other losers say this. It's a what? Scam. Oh, it's their fault. It's a scam. You know why all of this is rubbish? Is because if there are people winning who have either had a worse situation than you or the same situation as you, they've got the same strategy as you. If you can see other people winning with the same strategy, then it's not a scam. Then it does actually work. Then it is fair. It has nothing to do with the things, everything to do with you. I've had to own up to this in my own life. You guys have saw part of my story there. I've had to face the facts of this so many times. But what do losers do in this stage? What's the decision that losers make in this stage that forces them to never, ever, ever get results? What do? They get a new program, right? New strategy. It's the strategy this time. It's the strategy that'll work for me for sure. What happens? Try out the strategy. Same deal. Cycle repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. Until look at where you are now. You started off here, okay? And now look at where you are. I hear this all the time from people. They say this in the past. This is how I know they don't have the right mindset. This is why we put so much emphasis on these modules here to change your mindset. They all say the same thing. I've been what? Burned. I've had other mentors. Nothing has worked. How interesting. How fascinating. What that tells me is that you've repeated this cycle over and over and over again. My question to you is, when are you going to stop? Because everyone, I'm going to prepare you guys now, everyone will go through this test. It's the law of the universe to sift out the people who want it and the people who don't. The people who have the stomach for it and the people who don't. It's the law of the universe to pass everyone through this test. But you're putting in all this effort to pay someone else more money, and then start in their program, and then do that onboarding, and then set up their system. It's too much effort. Why not just stick with the plan? Why not get to this level? Because every strategy will have this layer here, this valley of despair. Right? This, what we call like informed pessimism. But if you just stick it out, you will get to the area you want to get to, the informed optimism, what you actually came to the program to get if you just stick it out. It's actually easier. It's far simpler to just do this. And so now that you guys know how losers make decisions, and again, guys, I've been the most guilty of this. I'm casting no judgment on you, because I've done this so many times. Like I said, I lost all that money in dropshipping. Why? Because I did this for $40,000 worth. Lost all the cash, right? I've probably fucked up more times than you guys have fucked up. I can almost guarantee it. Okay, I did this. That's why I never won big, right? And I failed my way to success. I made it way harder on myself than I needed to do it. And yes, praise God, even in the past 5 years, I've been able to scale 3 different online businesses to 6 figures each. I have had those wins, praise God. But why didn't I make 7 figures? Why didn't I make multi-7 figures? Why did it take me 5 years instead of 2? Because I did this. Guys, I'm guilty of it just like you. So if you have been burned in the past, if you have had other mentors, and you have the stomach and the courage to say, yeah, you know what? It's probably my fault. I can promise you now, this will be the program where you see yourself all the way through to informed optimism. I can promise you. I can genuinely promise you. If you have the bravery, the courage to own up to take accountability and be like, you know what? Yeah, it's my fault. Even sure, maybe the mentor, they had maybe a little bit to do with it. Yeah, granted. Sure. Right? But I can tell you now, if you are going to commit to this journey, seeing yourself all the way through to the end, this is the program that you'll win in. Not because my program is any special. I mean, it is, right? But because now what you've done is you've already started that process of changing your mind. Okay? That is really the big 3-step thing I want to show you guys here. Okay? Winners versus losers. And to wrap up this, I know it's been quite long, it's 30 minutes, right? But to wrap this up, who are you guys going to commit to being? Chef A or Chef B? A winner or a loser? Are you going to ask yourself the hard questions? Are you going to own up to those areas where you fell off, where you made bad decisions, so that you can once and for all correct the mistake, pass that test, guys? Or you're going to have to keep resitting the test. Are you going to own up to the mistake, learn from the lesson, and now move forward? Or not? I hope you guys do, because I wouldn't want you guys to not get the results you want in this program when it could have been easily prevented right here, first module in the mindset section. So guys, that's that. Okay, I hope this resonates with you, and we're just getting started here, guys. The next modules are going to be really practical again, challenging your mindset, showing you things. All right, but I hope this can kickstart us off. All right, so with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching this module, and I'll see you in the next one.